Good evening, Honorable Council President, City Council members, Mr. City Clerk, and all others viewing tonight's presentation. I'm honored to present my fourth Lackawanna State of the City as your mayor. Joining me from Western New York, Deaf Access Services, is sign language interpreter Catherine Shaver. In 2022, we continued making progress toward our shared goal of rebuilding Lackawanna's local economy, tax base, employment opportunities, and sense of community. While the year was not perfect due to supply chain delays, inflation, and catastrophic winter storms, the efforts of Lackawanna's workforce and cooperation from government and private partners helped create an overall successful year. I'd like to highlight these efforts, starting with development. For city-owned parcels, in September, Douglas Development was named designated developer for a $35 million mixed-use project at 539 Ridge Road, a property which has been vacant since 2014. This project will be undertaken without tax abatement incentives, and Douglas has agreed to pay full taxes upon project completion. Finalization of the land sale contract and site plans are expected in the coming months. In addition, FlexLoom Sign Company broke ground on their new manufacturing and office facility at 1 Albright Court, which is expected to open in late 2023 and early 2024. FlexLoom is relocating their entire operation to Lackawanna from its current Buffalo location, where it has operated for over 75 years. For Renaissance Commerce Park at the former Bethlehem Steel site, Uniland Development completed its first 150,000 square foot warehouse at 8 Dona Street and gained the necessary approvals to break ground on a second similar facility nearby at 2 Steelworkers Way, which is scheduled to open in 2024. Uniland has already leased 100,000 square feet of the 8 Dona Street space in a long-term tenant. In addition, Simonelli Development announced plans to build a 250,000 square foot manufacturing, warehouse, and office facility in the Commerce Park across from the Uniland and TMP Magic Eraser facilities. Land sale negotiations with Simonelli are in process. As I've noted in the past, all projects within Renaissance Commerce Park are on pilot agreements, which allow for a graduated payment of taxes starting year one and increasing over a 10-year period. Such agreements are standard in development, especially when dealing with brownfield properties. There are no more pilots which do not pay taxes from year one. To ensure our development projects align with modern development practices, Lackawanna secured a $90,000 New York State grant to update the city's zoning ordinances, an initiative which involved graduate students from UB's School of Architecture and Planning. In addition, the city secured a $50,000 state grant to review and update our local waterfront revitalization plan, which is important to the Bethlehem Steel site redevelopment project, giving plans for a passive recreation component, including Smokes Creek. Lastly, I want to highlight Lackawanna's role in the Renaissance Commerce Park Bethlehem Steel redevelopment effort. Our city is an active partner, working closely with Erie County government and the ECIDA and other public-private partners to market and develop the property. While Erie County and the ECIDA are project leads for land and infrastructure policies and investments, Lackawanna's unified tax rate is a vital selling point for attracting millions of private dollars invested to date, and those are more are expected in the future. It's unlikely these development projects would be happening to this level if the city's previous non-homestead tax rate of $42 per thousand were still in place. Lackawanna is also the municipal lead for all zoning, planning, code enforcement, public safety, and public works at the Commerce Park. Moving to the Comptroller's Office. Given the city's fiscal year begins on August 1st, my remarks will reflect two overlapping fiscal periods. For the current 2022-2023 fiscal year, for the third consecutive year, the city tax rate has not increased for property owners, with the unified rate being maintained at $16.75 per thousand. The garbage fee also remained at $254 per unit. $1.65 million of fund balance has been allocated in the current budget to maintain the tax rate and meet current financial obligations. Although Lackawanna experienced significant expenses related to the November and December blizzards, the amount of appropriated fund balance the city will use is expected to be under the budgeted amount, inclusive of FEMA and New York State reimbursements. For the 2021-2022 fiscal year ending July 31st, 2022, due to our continued financial and development progress, Lackawanna's bond rating with Moody's is maintained at A1, which is considered a stable rating within a range of AAA through C. Lackawanna is now well positioned to pursue additional bonds to fund the new City Hall capital project and renovate the original City Hall for continued use as police and city court operations. The city's 2021-2022 fiscal year audit is not yet complete. However, data indicates that our fund balance as of July 31st, 2022 is about $13.72 million, an increase of approximately $1.6 million. This increase was driven by several factors, including the city's successful development efforts since 2020, prudent spending practices, competitive assessments of all city properties reflecting current market conditions, and increases in sales tax revenue and departmental income. $1.5 million of fund balance was allocated in the 2021-2022 budget to maintain the tax rate and meet financial obligations. However, our initial review indicates that we earned more revenue and incurred less expenses than anticipated. As a result, we expect to use less than the fully allocated $1.5 million. Data indicates that our unassigned fund balance is nearly $12.2 million as of July 31st, 2022. Lackawanna has received a no designation and a 5.0 rating for the fiscal year ending July 31st, 2021 from the New York State Comptroller's Office, which monitors fiscal stress on a scale of 0 to 100, with a low score indicating low fiscal stress. This is an improvement over the fiscal year ending July 31st, 2020, where the city received a no designation and an 8.3 rating. We anticipate the same no designation for the 2021-2022 fiscal year and have yet to receive a fiscal stress rating for the same time period. For the offices of City Treasurer and Assessor, the Treasurer's Office collected over $29 million in combined city, school, county taxes, plus nearly $612,000 in delinquent taxes. The Treasurer's Office will also begin foreclosure proceedings on properties with delinquent taxes from 2020 and before, a process paused during the pandemic. In addition, the Assessor's Office successfully completed STAR, Enhanced STAR, and Veterans exemptions for property owners, while continuing to ensure properties are equitably assessed in relation to the local real estate market. To that end, no residential assessment challenges were received this past year. Under public safety, I want to begin by offering heartfelt thanks to the Lackawanna Fire and Police Departments for their heroic service during the November and December blizzards. While facing severe winter weather conditions not seen in decades, Lackawanna public safety teams delivered uninterrupted services under very difficult and dangerous conditions. In 2022, our fire department responded to 3,817 calls, up 118 over last year. Of these calls, 71%, or 2,694, were for emergency medical services. Firefighters responded to 64 fires and over 450 false alarms. Our fire inspectors conducted over 230 inspections, which included residential and commercial units and the new developments at the former Bethlehem Steel site. 3 new firefighters were hired this past year. Upon graduation, our new recruits will be New York State certified as firefighters and emergency medical technicians and immediately deployed for duty. Our police department responded to 19,755 calls in 2022, up nearly 5,900 over 2021. Officers made 2,300 arrests, up over 200% from last year, and issued 7,610 traffic summonses and 2,150 parking tickets, which also represents significant increases over last year. This increase is attributable to COVID-19 restrictions being fully lifted and strong enforcement by city laws by our officers. A new bike patrol unit was launched during the summer months and will continue this upcoming summer. The department hired 4 new police officers, with 4 others retiring from service. In addition, there were a number of promotions, including 1 captain, 2 lieutenants, and 1 detective. Lastly, implementation of Lackawanna's first ever citywide public safety radio system is nearly completed. This new technology will allow the city's fire, police, public works employees to be connected over the same system. This will greatly benefit communication between these departments, which is especially critical during natural and other emergencies such as the aforementioned blizzards. Moving to the City Attorney's Office. This past year, the Law Department finalized a 3-year contract extension with the CSEA Administrative Union. Combined with prior resolution of fire and police contracts, these unions are all under contract receiving fair wages and benefits through 2025. The DPW CSEA collective bargaining contract is up for negotiation this year, and the Law Department will work to extend their wages and benefits through at least 2025 as well. In addition, the Law Department resolved various complex contract variance and other related matters for the noted development projects at Renaissance Commerce Park and on city-owned parcels. They also work to resolve tax assessment challenges on numerous commercial properties in the city, resolving all but 2 outstanding cases which are in process. The law department also worked on the city's behalf to enter into an agreement with the Lackawanna School District to provide a full-time school resource officer to keep our children of Lackawanna safe and to provide them with a resource to approach for assistance with social matters, including bullying, drug addiction, and general safety. The majority of this work performed by the law department was done without the assistance of outside counsel, saving the city substantial expenses in outside counsel fees. Under Public Works, as was done for public safety, I extend the city's deepest gratitude to the DPW for their tireless service during the November and December blizzards. Not only did staff work around the clock to clear city roads under very dangerous conditions, they also maintained weekly trash pickup, which the majority of other weather-impacted communities could not do. Their efforts also included working with the city purchasing department to make significant repairs to the senior center, which was used as a storm warming shelter for 130 people over several days. This past year, the DPW also began working through a long list of outstanding projects. Milling and sewer lateral work was completed on Milmore, Cleveland, and Roland Avenues. And damaged streetlights were replaced at West Elmview and Abbott Road and Sharon Parkway and South Park Avenue. And to all our delight, the Abbott and Ridge Road signal was upgraded to newer and more efficient technology to better manage traffic flow. Next is purchasing and technology. The city's purchasing department has taken the lead on securing reimbursements from FEMA and New York State for various cleanup costs and damages, including damaged curbs, street signs, and more resulting from the blizzards. The department also cost-effectively implemented a complete refurbishment of basketball courts at Bethlehem Park, Victory, and Ludell playgrounds, which will open this spring, and the purchases of new police cars, a senior center van, and a recreation box van. Through the city's technology specialist efforts continue to modernize the city's outdated information technology policies and workstation platforms, deliver modern information security awareness training to employees, provide remote technology capabilities, and implement upgrades to various technologies used throughout City Hall, fire and police operations, and for City Council proceedings. From the Marketing and Public Information Office, in 2022, we continued Chamber of Commerce style marketing for Lackawanna development and our city's brand professionally featured in Target print, online, and digital advertising, as well as sponsored events, public relations, and websites. The Marketing and Public Information Office also continued to expand the city's business development relationships with many of the region's most prominent developers, architects, engineers, and construction partners, as well as various government and agency partners at federal, state, and county levels. They also generated 60 instances of local, regional, and national media coverage, nearly half related to development, and continue to effectively use social media, the city website, and Code Red call system for informing the Lackawanna community, with nearly 200 messages created, reaching a combined audience of nearly 600,000. With respect to recreation programs, in 2022, Lackawanna hosted full seasons of co-ed softball and kickball with 20 teams across both leagues. In addition, the free summer lunch program was again offered at city playgrounds, and several community events were implemented, including the annual Memorial Day service, National Night Out, Thursday night concert series, Shakespeare in Delaware Park touring performances, holiday tree lighting ceremony, and various senior and youth-themed activities. The City Swim Project completed its first season at the Lackawanna High School pool with 47 participants. This program, which provides swimming access to culturally diverse students with limited or no access to swimming resources, is expected to grow to over 100 Lackawanna youth participants in year 2, including the addition of a girls-only program. Looking ahead to 2023, while we accomplished a lot in 2022, there is still a significant project backlog. Candidly, some things are taking longer to start and complete than expected. Despite these delays, I remain committed to working cooperatively with the City Council and appropriate department heads to make progress on the following as soon as possible: Center Street reconstruction, Veteran Stadium renovation, Franklin Playground recreation upgrades, including a splash park, and the installation of new drainage, ADA curbing, and recreation equipment at the Lehigh soccer field, and a new street hockey court at the Bethlehem Park Playground, both of which are grant-funded projects. I understand these projects have been discussed for years, with many inherited by my administration, and community frustrations are high. I share in your frustration. The reality is, each of these projects are complicated in scope, partner participation, and funding, all compounded by various economic factors still affecting every sector. But we are committed to getting them accomplished as soon as possible. This year, we also plan to continue marketing redevelopment opportunities for city-owned parcels at Alliance Drive, 264 Ridge Road, and 100 Dona Street. Start and complete a milling and paving project on Wilmouth Avenue. Monitor and grant application for funding the repair and reopening of the Warsaw Street Bridge. And dedicate and open our new grant-funded fire training facility on Steelawana Avenue. Finally, Lackawanna's shortest St. Patty's Day Parade is scheduled for Friday, March 17th, starting at 12:10 p.m. with Mass at OOV, followed by a short parade to City Hall. Details are posted on the City Facebook and website pages, and everyone is welcome to attend. It's been my honor to serve as Lackawanna's mayor in what is now my 4th year. I am proud of all we have accomplished the past 3+ years, but as you heard tonight, there is still much work left to be done. I thank you, stay safe, and God bless.